Today is May 15th, 2025, the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission meeting. And I'll open the meeting now. Could we have a roll, please?
Commissioner Vajpayee.
Present.
Commissioner Chari.
Here.
Commissioner Glenn. Here. Commissioner Hayes. Here. Commissioner Molitas.
Here.
Commissioner Menti. Here. Commissioner Warren. Here. Commissioner Doherty.
Here.
Can we note that Commissioner Huffman is excused?
Commissioner Huffman is excused. He was not able to make this meeting. Where is he? Is he in Europe or
England, I
something?
think.
I would also entertain a motion for the approval of the April 17th, 2025 commission meeting minutes. Commissioner Hayes.
I move to approve the April 17th, 2025 Commissioner meeting minutes as written.
Second?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Can we have the roll, please?
Commissioner Vajpayee.
Yes.
Commissioner Chari.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn.
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes.
Yes.
Commissioner Molitas.
Yes.
Commissioner Menti.
Aye.
Commissioner Warren.
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. And I would like to, we have some new commission members I would like to introduce. We've got Devarshi Vajpayee, welcome. Devarshi's resume includes Chief of Research for Oregon Department of Corrections and Behavioral Health Director for CARE Oregon, and the Addiction Services Senior Manager for Multnomah County Mental Health and Addiction Services. And last but not least, you received the Spirit of Recovery Award from DePaul Treatment Centers. Congratulations! That's my alma mater, so I'm impressed. So, did you have anything you want to say, or when you're not required to, if you don't?
I have no prepared remarks, but thank you for the welcome and looking forward to getting together work.
Well, welcome very much. And we have Kelly Menti here. It's our new commissioner. Summa cum laude from Pacific Lutheran. You're now Klamath County Commissioner. Thank you. And you're board chair overseeing emergency management and public health as well. And then you were appointed by the governor as trustee for Oregon Tech and as a commissioner for the Oregon Business Development Commission. And this I'm curious about. You serve on the Civic Leader Council for the Air Force. I'm an Air Force guy, and tell me a little bit about that. What does that do?
Sure. Well, in Klamath Falls, I live in Klamath Falls. We have one of the training bases in the country. We train fighter pilots, and the we call it Big Air Force. Big Air Force has a group of civic leaders from communities that also have training missions that get together a few times a year on different air bases around the country and share best practices and, sort of how does the community step up to help the Air Force. So I really enjoy that work.
Wow.
And we're getting the F-35. That's the big thing for this.
Do you go up in it?
I will never. That sounds, I get motion sickness in a bus. So no, I'm never doing that.
What else do we have, Kelly? And you were appointed by the Oregon Drug and Alcohol to the Oregon Drug and Alcohol Policy Commission. Thank you very much. That's critical for us here. And an American Leadership Forum fellow. What is that?
The American Leadership Forum is it's ALF, it's sort of, if people are familiar with that acronym, but it takes sort of up and coming leaders would maybe be the word, and puts them in a cohort and travels all around Oregon learning about different Oregon-based issues. They like to oftentimes have a rural voice, and so I sort of often get pegged as that person, which I'm happy to do, and happy to hopefully lend a little bit of that voice on this commission as well.
Yeah. Thank you very much for that. Unfortunately, Kurt Huffman is not here today, so I will welcome him, even though he's not here, but I'll get more detail on his resume when he comes to his first meeting, which will be next month. So thank you all very much, and thank you for your commitment to this great cause. So now we have, which one? I've got the wrong agenda. Oh, that's it. Okay. All right. Craig.
Yes.
Executive Director.
Yes, I have a director's report, big one, citing Prince Family News. But before I do that, I also want to welcome the new commissioners. I want to thank our partners in the executive appointments, part of the governor's office, for all of y'all. Just their work to work with us to find you and have you willing to serve voluntarily on this commission. And then our partners in the legislature and the Senate to confirm that. I just think, I look at this commission and I just feel like, Mr. Chair, you're well suited, well prepared for the next decades. And so I just want to say thanks to everyone for saying yes.
Yeah.
Really, really, really good to see these faces. My big news is today I'm going to announce that I'm effective July 1, I'll be retiring from OLCC and state service. So that's my big news. I want to start by thanking this commission, you, Chair Doherty, for the trust you placed in me when you appointed me the permanent executive director. This is a special place. We play a very special role in delivering funding that keeps our state beautiful, safe, and prosperous. We have a very special role with our regulated markets of promoting the health and safety of Oregonians. And I just want to say with your direction and your partnership with this commission, I'm just very proud of what we've accomplished since I came on board in 2023. After significant turbulence, we steadied the organization together, placing the OLCC not just on a path to restore public trust, but to enhance and expand the confidence Oregonians can put in us. This really started with a strategic plan that we focused on modernizing our operations, putting a new emphasis, as I said, on public health, and really focusing on enhancing employee engagement with a renewed commitment to our mission and a renewed commitment to listening to our employees. In the following months, after that, we put several things in place and took actions to affect that strategic plan. We moved forward with CAMP. Where's Christy? Christy, raise your hand. We moved forward with CAMP, which means to us digitally upgrading our licensing and permitting system so that we're not having our partners do their applications on paper. They can do it online in a portal. And Christy, I want to thank you and your team and the Rich's team, everyone. Wow, no idea what a big lift it is to go from paper to digital until you actually see these incredible employees do it. So I want to just recognize that we've accomplished, and we've accomplished 3 phases. 4 is to go, right, Christy?
Correct.
So I want to thank the team for that. We launched a cannabis reference lab project with our partners at the Oregon Department of Agriculture. We were able to report out on Operation Clean Leaf earlier this year, already paying dividends on making sure that the cannabis and other products in the market are safe, regulated, and legal. We cooperated with our legislative partners and our partners in the regulated cannabis industry to enact a hold on new licenses last year with the goal of stabilizing that market and that emerging market. And then the thing that we've been focused on the most, and what I was so proud to do last month, is we broke ground on our new warehouse in Canby. And every day our contractor is out there making more and more progress. And if you get a chance to drive by, never was so happy to see a muddy mess in my life. So I encourage you to stop by there. And then just yesterday, we briefed our liquor agents, our closest partners, the agents who sell liquor in our 285 liquor stores. We briefed them on the progress of our distilled spirits supply chain project. which will bring the distribution and retail software and hardware that connects us from the supplier that we purchase distilled spirits from to that point of sale at the store. We're going to bring that into the 21st century. And so these are all significant achievements. I'm not saying them to say I achieved them. I'm saying I am so proud that our employees have achieved those with your leadership. And on a daily basis, that's the focus, is those employees, very dedicated employees who do the big things and small things every day to bring those benefits I talked about to the people of Oregon, to their fellow residents, and to these industries that we serve. And I am going to miss working with these dedicated servants of Oregon. They're creative, they're efficient, they're effective, and they're focused on the OLCC mission. Leaving such an inspiring group of people is one thing that makes this decision hard. However, I really feel this is the right decision for my family at this time. My wife, Natalie, and I are empty nesters, and we are looking forward to this next chapter of our lives. And in preparing for this next phase, I've been learning French, which has been a challenge, right, Arnaud? And we're preparing to use our French language skills on a couple trips to France, and to be able to see our girls in the Midwest and on the East Coast where they're going to school. So makes sense for us. And I want to say that I believe that Chair Doherty has, and this executive team, have provided a real foundation for your future success. We've got lots of projects still underway. We've got our legislative partners in Salem who are finalizing our agency budget for the next 2 years. I want to recognize that hard work. And those things will be in place long after I retire. So with that, I just want to recognize the impressive group of people you have to work with at this agency. And I feel it's time to pass the baton to the next generation. And I very much look forward to reading about your next achievements and successes from a chair on my patio. So I want to thank you all. Thank you very much for letting me make those remarks.
Thank you, Craig. I so appreciated you coming in at the time you did. You left out some stuff that the turmoil that we were going through. I was fairly new here. You were brand new here, and we lost, 6 or 7 directors, and we had the Papagate and all of those tough things to go through. And you brought us through that. I think we're almost fully staffed now. We have mentioning our executive team. I couldn't be more proud of the people that we've got in place, the new people that, after a situation like that, recruiting people is tough, and we got just nothing but top line people on there. We promoted Christy Scott, which is taking hold of this enormous IT project, which I would have been no good at. I can barely handle my garage door opener, so happy that somebody is on that. And Lisa Bertram, and we got a new HR director. I forget all the names. I haven't met yet. Tasha, yeah. And is Tasha here?
Yes.
Oh, hi, Tasha. I haven't met you, so welcome. So Craig, thank you for taking us through all of that and leaving us in good shape. I tried to get you to at least stay on till the completion of but you got us through the groundbreaking. And you said when you came, it was going to be 2 years. I said, okay, but I held on to you for 2 years, 4 months. I got you a little bit beyond your. So congratulations on this, and well done. And I'll give you a call in France if I need something.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Thank you very much.
Anything else, anybody?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Be careful of volunteer opportunities.
I'm watching, I'm learning from y'all.
Can we have the Oregon Distillers Guild? We got Tom Burklau. Yeah, there we are. And Dave Schlepp. Excuse me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Here, thank you.
And nice to see you again. You were out there at the groundbreaking. We had a. little
Left my
chat.
bunny shoes. It was great.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think you corrected me out there one thing. What did I say? Was that you that corrected me on this stand?
I don't remember.
Oh, I misstated.
I've never said
How long
bad
you've been
bunny.
here? I thought you said we've been here longer than that, but
Nice.
anyway, welcome. Glad to see you.
Thanks. Good to be here again. I'm Tom Berglow, owner of New Deal Distillery and the current president of the Oregon Distillers Guild. And we're here today to give you an update on the state of distilleries in Oregon. And because there's a lot of new commissioners, I may go a little deeper than I would normally, so a little bit of history. So our industry faces long-term challenges that we've always had, and then short-term challenges, which you guys can imagine from the current economic situation. And there's a role that the OLCC and the commission can play in us being successful. And if you read the mission statement of the OLCC, I believe it's 3 things: public health, like underage drinking, overconsumption. We all understand that. But selling spirits, and also supporting business, which is your business partners, the distilleries and the liquor store agents. So you guys have a business economic role, and I think there's cases where we'll come in front of you and say, help us with this, to make Oregon business, thrive. So in terms of Oregon distilling, Clear Creek Distillery kind of was the first to kind of modern small distilleries in the state of Oregon. And then one of the first, original mistakes that was made was they wanted to sell direct. Well, they were kind of shoehorned into the liquor store model, which did not allow small distilleries to actually make money and all the effort it takes for them to sell their spirits direct to consumers in their tasting rooms. It's a marketing effort. And that was sort of like a flawed structure. But at the time, it was like there was nothing else to do. Everybody said, well, we have this, you guys are going to fit into that. And so we've spent years trying to change that to, SB 316 was the bill that we put into place, or with the help of the legislature. And I think 5-6 years ago, it's about the sunset. It's kind of existential to us. Without that, small distilleries, which sell very little through the OCC warehouse, to get started, they have to sell direct and build a customer base. And so I think you guys should be aware of this. I know you're not the legislature, but I think you guys have, a voice when you're, talking to everybody. And so that was kind of the original problem, was we can't do direct sales. Like a small winery can actually be successful doing direct sales. They can completely thrive, be out there in the Willamette Valley, have the customers come through. They can make enough money off that to survive. A small distillery can't. In fact, for many years, the tasting room was a money-losing operation. This is what I would say in front of the Ways and Means Committee down in Salem. But anyway, just so you guys are aware, that's our structural issue. The other structural issue is you have to get established in the state of Oregon, and then you have to get outside the state of Oregon. And then outside the state of Oregon, the issue is consolidation. There's no path for small distilleries. So whether it's in state or out of state, we face an uphill battle. We always have, but we love doing what we're doing. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. So, like I said, you guys have played a role positively over the years. I'm going to let Dave kind of talk about some of the ways the OCC has helped us in the past.
Yeah, so I'm relatively new to the distilling industry, just started 503 Distilling about 7 years ago. And, one of the things that I was really impressed with when we came into the industry here in Oregon was how helpful the OLCC was. So, we had access to getting our products listed right away. That actually even got better for Oregon distillers. So, that's one of the things that's very difficult in other states, is to get listed as an out-of-stater. So having that, treating Oregon distillers, actually really was a big help for our business. Always gotten quick response from the OLCC staff, whether it's special event licenses or questions about, products from the warehouse, or how to work with liquor store agents. It's always been super helpful. So, we've gotten a lot of willingness to share advice on how to approach liquor store agents in the system with special programs, whether it's product allocation or holiday sales, that type of thing. And then, we've got the camp system has been a huge help for our business as well, in processing special event licenses, which all of our members in the Distillers Guild really rely on these special event licenses for selling at farmers markets and, you know, all over the place. Without that, we would not be able to grow our businesses at all. So, and then, yeah, we're really looking forward to the new warehouse. I think it's going to be a big help for all of us, except I won't be 2 miles from the warehouse anymore. 15, but close to my house. Anyway, and you know, along with that, there's challenges we always face. I think all suppliers face it, not just the Oregon distillers, but you know, the small guys really, you know, having a split case program is really important to small distillers. So being able to take sell a few bottles at a time. And I know that got really challenging during COVID and it hasn't really come back yet. So we look forward to seeing some improvement there, hopefully, especially with the new warehouse coming along. And there's some other little things like the 6-pack penalty. I call it the 6-pack penalty. So if you have a case, you have 12 bottles in a case, you actually get paid more per case than if you have per bottle than if you have 6 bottles in a case. So there's it's an anomaly in the pricing. It's never been resolved, but that'd be a great thing to get changed at some point, because it'll allow agents to carry, dial in their stock better. And then it's kind of a health and human safety thing too. Some of these 12-pack cases weigh a lot. So I've had to lift them myself. And then, yeah, those are really the big challenges. I mean, there's a couple little things like the surcharge was a challenge for us from the get-go. We started with canned cocktails and, we wanted to sell 1 can to kind of get market acceptance out there and be innovative. And we were being taxed surcharged 50 cents per can. We were being treated just like a bottle of $70 whiskey. So there's definitely some opportunities there to maybe revamp that at some point. So or get rid of it someday.
Yeah, and I want to then go into like our current issues. This is the happy part of this. Obviously, the economy is affecting craft distilleries. Like I said, we have long-term structural problems, which is there's still not a viable path to be profitable at a small scale in this state. But you may have heard there's some distilleries that have declared bankruptcy. I think you'll see some larger ones potentially going out of business. And then I can probably say maybe only 2-3 distilleries out of the 80 are even making money in this state. But, we love what we're doing. We're going to keep trying until we figure out a way of, path into the market. Like I'm lucky that we actually have out-of-state sales. We took us years to develop. And if we only had Oregon sales, we wouldn't even be here right now. So, it's one of the missions of the LCC is supporting business. So we're, still figure that out. I know about every distillery I know is doing layoffs right now. It's the state of the world. So we all love what we're doing. We're going to keep doing it. But I kind of want to finish up with like what we've done kind of positively, like what we see our role. Like obviously our hope is to be an economic force in Oregon, like beer and wine, very successful, both in state and out of state. I wasn't here when, Steve McCarthy started Clear Creek, but I was one of the first of the new wave in 2001. I think there was 5 of us, including what became House Spirits. At the time, there was maybe 5 craft distilleries in Oregon, I think 20 nationwide. And now there's like perhaps 100 licenses in Oregon. And each of those distilleries, no matter where they are struggling, they're still providing jobs. We've grown the job base. And if if you look at the size of the industry, I don't think there's any reason why we can't, take more money from corporations. That money stays in Oregon. Employ people in Oregon. We pay taxes. We invest. Everybody who's a distiller or a whiskey maker is always investing long term. We're putting this away and we're hoping to, be successful down the road. So we're here for the long term and we keep doing that. Tourism, definitely like the current tourism situation has hurt us, but distilleries have always been a part of like culinary tourism. I would say that 30-40% of my tasting room traffic historically has been tourists from out of state. We've always played a part in that. Obviously, COVID in the last few years has impacted that, but I think we still will continue to play a positive part in that. And one thing people don't understand is we're really doing marketing for higher end, more quality products. So we're not at the low end, at the low volume stuff that's abused, the higher end products. And then the number one beneficiary is usually the liquor store nearest us. At one time, liquor stores were worried that we were taking their business, but the reality is, 11th Avenue Liquor, which is a few blocks from me, is my number one seller of products. So we are an experiential place. We create customers, they go to the local liquor store. The average price spent is pushed upward. It's not pushed downward. So we're driving the part of the market I think that the OCC would love to see, driven, which is, drinking, the responsible side, the higher price point per unit. It's a win-win for everybody. What else is good? We love what we do, and we're glad we could be here today. Any questions?
Dave, thank you very much. Yes,
Sure.
Commissioner?
Can you educate me a little bit about the 6-bottle case versus a 12-bottle case and why the price differential?
Yeah, so it's a pricing anomaly in the pricing system. So I brought it up probably 6 years ago because I was like, we initially had 6-packs we got from our supplier because that makes sense, right? We're a small distillery, only want to have 6 bottles in the case. So I went and looked at the price pricing calculator. I'm like, wow, I'm getting it's like $1 less a bottle, I think, right? So I asked, well, why is this? Well, that's just the way the system's always been designed. So what we actually did is we took 2 6-packs and strapped them together. Now we got a 12-pack. So it's just one of those things that's never been addressed, and it's an easy one to do, I think. So in the system. So it's not a huge deal. It's just one of those annoying things that, every dollar helps us out, right? So we're incentivized, it incentivizes having bigger cases and heavier cases and and then it's also, it de-incentivizes liquor stores sometimes to bring in your product because they have to carry more of it. It's only available in a 12-pack, right? So.
Quick follow-up to that and then a question. Is that something staff is looking at?
Mr. Chair, members of the commission, I think this is an important point that we were talking about. Pricing has not been updated for, I think, decades. There's a case split at $78 a case. So there's a different price if it's below that or above that. The price below that has a higher markup. And so I think that's one of the things that when we talk about modernizing our overall pricing scheme, that if you wish to, that would be absolutely something you could address.
Well,
Can I have another one?
yes, you may.
Yeah. You were talking about the price, you said tax and then you corrected it.
Yeah.
On one can, and good example of why that is. Where are we on that? Or has that been corrected, or is that, I asked because I know we're looking at a committee and.
I don't think it's it's not something that's corrected. It's just the way it was designed. It's on a per bottle. So if you have a 4-pack of cans, that's considered one bottle. If you have one can, it's priced as one can, it's sold as one bottle. So it's just one of those anomalies. Depends on how big. It kind of goes back to the whole, in a way, to the 6-pack discussion as well, right? So what constitutes one unit, right? So
Very good point. And I think as we move into our subcommittee or our ad hoc
That'll be the
committee,
subcommittee.
Thank you.
Hey, Tom, thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? So appreciate you coming and taking the time to come out here. We've got some homework to do, so thank you for that.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks, Commission.
thanks for letting us speak.
And then Rosetta here.
Online.
Oh. So next we'll have Rosetta Shatkin, our Director of Government Affairs, give us a legislative update. Welcome, Rosetta.
Good morning. You guys can see me?
There you are. Thank you. Yes, I can. We can.
And you can call me Rosie. Laura, I don't know if you have the
Yeah.
presentation file. Thank you so much. Good morning, Chair Doherty, commissioners. Thanks for the opportunity to speak with you today. Thank you, Laura. So this is here because I just want to provide a brief update of the 2025 legislative session. But I want to make one note, Commissioner Kelly Minty, we have something in common. I'm also a Class 28 ALF member. So we have, we can catch up a little bit on that. It's been a great experience. So as I said, just a brief with the legislative session where we are. We're sort of in that critical moment. So a lot of legislators and state agency lobbyists and stakeholders are sort of intensifying their efforts right now as we approach what is kind of anticipating to be an especially active and decisive final session. So we have several key policy in motion right now for the OLCC. And so this morning, I'm just simply going to walk through the development of that. So again, it's just a legislative session and the calendar to help guide us and to guide a discussion. The key policy areas that are shaping up for this session and the OLCC priority and where we are on that calendar and how the agency's sort of broader policy work fits within the governor's landscape. So Laura, could you get to the next page, please? So keep this calendar in mind. It's really informative in sort of where we start and where we will end. Just even prior to January 21st, when session started, we started developing our policies. And so for the most part, where we are is that we started February 25th. And March 10th, we're seeing a lot of activities with our bills coming out. And to some degree, I'm sharing this because there's some new members on the commission, and I just want to make sure that we have this timeline in mind. Where we are right now is right in between that May 9th chamber deadline and ensuring that in that second chamber, all our bills are moving forward. So just a little bit of the big picture overview with keeping that timeline in mind. So the governor's budget, the 2025 to 2027 budget, reflects what she heard across Oregon, 36 counties in Oregon, especially from rural communities that were facing some critical shortages in housing, mental health, and substance use treatment disorder. And so in response, she asked a lot of state agency to sort of prioritize regional equity and improve customer service, invest more in responsive statewide workforce. So our agency took the lead by aligning our legislative priorities with the governor's vision in that we focus a lot on protecting public health and safety and supporting our responsible businesses and providing funding for local and state agencies and local government. So Laura, next slide. These are OLCC priority legislation right now, and where we are is pretty much Senate Bill 871 and 870 are on the floor to be voted and be in front of the governor for signature. I won't go over the bills now just to save us time, and I can provide a little bit more briefing, but for the most part, they're all aligning with the governor's support for public health. Senate Bill 869 in particular is our bottle bill program, and it's morphed into a larger omnibus package of bottle bill programs and changes to the bottle bill program. And it's in that bill is Senate Bill 992. And it's in that small timeline of getting towards the end of session. Our priority bills and the budget efforts, we're trying to strike a balance between the regulation and compliance. And so for the most part, we found a lot of support from the legislators on those particular bills. Laura, next slide. there's roughly 9 bills here, and this slide is a little bit tiny. But this is just relating to cannabis, for example. And so we are still watching, reason why I'm still here in Salem and heading to the Capitol shortly. A number of these bills are going to be up on the floor to be voted on. And oftentimes there might be a question or two that legislators might have, but these bills are all continue to be in progress, and we continue to watch them. So as we get towards the end of the 2025 session, OLCC is continuing to engage our lawmakers and track these developments, ensuring that some of the bills there are going to pass and not have any immense negative impact, but just aligning with the governor's vision. And so while our legislation may not be in the front page in news or sort of part of a broader controversy, it's really part of the broader fabric of what the governor wants. So I'll keep monitoring this in the landscape and provide updates, a final update. I'll have more information on the specific bills that have passed both chamber and going to be signed by the governor. And I'll report back. So I thank you for your time and your attention, and happy to take any questions if you have anything for me.
Thank you, Rosie. Very well done. Any questions? Comments?
In
Rosie?
there. Hang in there.
Yeah, it's an exciting session.
Thank you, Rosie. Appreciate it very much.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I just wanted to highlight, Rosie, thank you. House Bill 5019 is our budget bill. And it's up Monday at 3 p.m. in the Ways and Means Committee. So that is, as we talked about, that's the budget that sustained the work that we've all been talking about with the distilled spirit supply chain, the warehouse, all of that. And so I'd like to just say thank you to the co-chairs of that subcommittee, co-chairs Gomberg and Representative Gomberg and Senator Meek. And I want to thank Michelle Deister, who works in that office, in the Legislative Fiscal Office. And I want to give a special thank you to Michelle Mulbright, here, our OLCC budget position, who, as you know, Colin resigned and made that announcement last month. And Michelle has just been working so hard with our legislative partners on our all-important budget. So thank you to Michelle Mulbright and Michelle Deister.
Great. Thank you. Anything further? So we're going to convene into executive session. The commissioners will now go into executive session to confer with counsel in regards to current litigation pursuant to the authority of ORS 192.660. If there are members of the media present, representative of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. All other members of the audience are asked to leave the room. Representative of media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decisions may be made in the executive session. We will return to open session. Okay, the commission is back in session. Thank you all for your patience. Because of Craig's retirement, we've had a discussion about the process of whether we do a direct hire, we go out for outside recruitment, and all the pros and cons of that. And so we're going to have a discussion about that at this point. And in order to get into the discussion of that, we'll need to have a motion.
Chair,
Commissioner.
I move that the commission discuss and decide upon a recruitment approach and consider the qualifications of Deputy Director Wasiak for the director position.
Chair. Second.
Moved and seconded. We have a discussion. Any discussion here?
I'll go ahead and start. So I just want clarification on that. So we're going to have a discussion, and then one of our options is a direct hire.
Well, the first discussion is of the process. We're going to use this process to pursue a direct hire approach, or I think that's right.
Or an open recruitment.
Or an open recruitment. So
Yes.
Chair, I would just like to say that I believe as a commission, there's so much that needs to be accomplished that having a direct hire who's already familiar with the mission of the OLCC, which is to be advocates and partners for businesses, public safety. To have somebody who's already in-house move us forward in that way versus losing momentum through a direct or an open hire process. I'm all for moving inside.
Thank you.
Chair, if I may,
Yes.
new first meeting, so I will not be disruptive. I will say in general, as a county commissioner, I have hired lots of directors and lots of people in leadership roles. It is almost always the internal candidate, if you will, is the most qualified. But I would just offer to the commissioners for consideration that it is still often valuable, though, to do an open process for the sake of that internal candidate, because there can be a perception if a open process is not done. And I'll just speak in plain terms, sort of like, oh, they just got the job. Whereas if you go through an open process, even if it does result in the hiring of the internal candidate, it really can set them up on a path of success because it sends a message that they were actually chosen amongst, an entire country of potential candidates and they were selected. So just offering that thought to the group.
Chair, I would just add that where we are, the OLCC is not in a place where we're looking to shake up or change some aspect dramatically. And so to the extent that continuity is a value on a practical level, and we already have a candidate who's done well, who could move into the position with that institutional knowledge and also the connection to the people that are part of this agency. I feel like in this unique situation where we're not looking to change or somehow disrupt where we are to reset, a reset's not where we are. So that's the only, I feel like that's the weight of continuity that comes into our consideration. And an open process does give us a chance to find candidates who could shake up the OLCC, make it different. And I don't believe that right now that's where we are. But there certainly is value, Commissioner, in that open process.
Chair, I would echo what the two of you said, that I think that at this point in time, the LLCC has been through a lot in the last several years. And we have a big project going on right now where one candidate has been very much involved in, and I think it would behoove us to continue on this path.
Chair.
Sure.
A lot to think about. I think about, and after hearing Craig talk about that, and his commitment to staff. So there's two things to commit to staff. One, let's move on. Let's not cause this upheaval. But two, let's listen to staff. Let's give them a chance. This is really fast. I will share with you, just personal disclosure. When they terminated a county administrator, I became interim. And I did that for 9 months. So I know what it feels like to be interim. I also said, there's no way in. No, I choose not to apply for this job. So it gave me a chance to see, but it also gave that stability from someone on the inside. So for me, I'm really looking at an opportunity to breathe. That is a quick turnaround. I think our deputy director is amazing. I think she does great work. I like that continuity. But I'm wondering if there's a opportunity for us to put an interim in. I know that comes with the pros and the cons, but then breathe for a couple of months, maybe do some internal discussions, just do a little more opportunity to say, do we really want to go for a full process? Do we want to do a direct hire? Because we don't have to do it today, but we would offer that continuity, that chance, and hopefully if we did go out for a direct hire, we wouldn't have scared anybody off. Maybe in that interim position. But it gives us, I appreciate what you said, Commissioner, about just that perception that we did our due diligence. That's kind of where I'm leaning.
if I can offer some light here, I have spent a bit of time talking to the staff. And not soliciting anything, but it has come to me by four the top and several other employees without even asking about Tara, as by the way, Tara's great. And I asked why.
Tara.
Excuse me, I did it again, Tara. I'm so sorry. Thank you. Done it again. And well, maybe they said that. That's not me.
Yeah, were you talking about the right person?
So, without question that she has the support. One of the comments was that she has such high standards and she holds everybody else to these high standards. And they said that has elevated the employee morale quite a bit. We've also got, we've discussed this with the governor's office and they are in full support of Tara. So this is not a surprise to everybody. I understand your concerns, but I think that the qualifications are there. She's been here a significant amount of time. The complexity of this organization is quite heavy duty. And with the projects that we have going at this time, I think that the continuity is a high, for me, is a quite high priority. Craig is only going to be here for another 2 or 3 months, so that I'd like that solidity to carry on through. And I think that if we'd like to, Tara, would you like to, we have some questions for Tara? I think it would be a good idea if you wouldn't mind, Tara. You're willing to, sir, please come on up. It's quite an impressive resume, and I want to make sure that we hear from you. First of all, is this something you want to do?
Yeah.
Sitting you up here, you're on the spot now, but.
Thanks, Chair Grody, Commission. For the record, Tara Waziak, the Deputy Director of the OLCC. I'd be honored to be considered, certainly.
Okay. Questions?
Tara, what do you see as the vision for the OLCC?
Chair Grody, Commissioner Warren. Thank you for the question. You know, I've been serving in the deputy role as the Chief Operating Officer capacity really for the agency. So I've really been focused on the operations, the employees, and just, you know, any sort of risks or obstacles about success as an agency. Sort of where my head has been at for the last 1.5 years that I've been here. And so sort of the short-term vision and focus is really the success of all these capital projects. Any one of these are a once in a generation type of project, and we're doing them all at once. You know, building and relocating a new warehouse with a new conveyance system, the cannabis and alcohol management program, you know, changing that to online. We've done the Opto project. We're also establishing and relocating a new headquarters. And then the end-to-end distilled spirit supply chain project. These are tremendous lifts for both our staff and our partners that touch these projects. So we have to be successful. So the short-term vision is success in these areas and making sure that we're not exhausting staff in the meantime. Long-term, sort of maybe not long-term, but in parallel, bigger vision is around supporting and collaborating with everybody that's interested and reliant on the success of this agency. So certainly the commission, our elected officials, our retail agents, the distillers, the wine growers, our public health folks, the cannabis partners, beer and wine distributors. I mean, there are so many people that our success is just intertwined with. And so making sure that we are partners, we're listening, and we're helping them be successful.
Chair, just a couple comments and to Alicia's point, you know, I've been here a long time now and I've been fortunate to speak with staff and get to know, you know, get a good barometer on where folks are at. And I will say, you know, as Chair Doherty said, everybody has great things to say. Everyone has a lot of respect for you and you come in and really added value that was greatly needed. I mean, I personally am in favor of direct appoint. I think that you know, one of the things that obviously in filling out, Craig will have a smooth transition over the next few months, but it sounds like there will be someone to essentially, if we were to direct appoint you, there'd be someone to fill the role you're currently filling. So I mean, I think that's maybe the opportunity to do a broader search for that role. And I don't, you know, that would essentially be the director decision, but I do think there's an opportunity to do a broad search for somebody who could kind of act in a, you know, to strengthen or to play to your strengths. And so we kind of get the best of both worlds in this scenario of direct appoint. And I really do believe that, you know, from everything I've heard, staff's very pleased with you. So I think the commissioners have the opportunity to work with you. So I'm in favor of direct appointment.
Thank you. Yeah, so if we did a direct appoint, we still have a search for a deputy director going on. If we don't do a direct appoint, we've got to search for deputy and that feels an onus weight to carry.
Christie has a question.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Chair, members of the commission. I just wanted to clarify that the only authority that the commission has is hiring the executive director. And now whether the executive director wants to use a certain process to hire those below them is up to the executive director. I'm sure that for such an important position, they'd be checking in with you.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Chair Doherty, so this being my first commission meeting, to make this decision on a permanent appointment for the director of Terra, for the permanent director, I have to defer my judgment to other commissioners and the conversations you all have had, and to your experience with Terra previously. So I don't feel comfortable making that decision today. I wouldn't feel like I was exercising my own independent judgment in making that decision. My question would be, if we were to, this motion is that we're going to pursue a direct appointment, not necessarily that we're going to make the appointment today. Is that correct?
Actually, no. Could we read the motion on the
motion currently is the commission to discuss and decide upon a recruitment approach and consider the qualifications of Deputy Director Wasiak for the director position. So essentially we would be deciding on direct appointment, correct?
You're discussing the options and if indeed you want to direct appoint today, that another motion will be required.
Right.
Presently, you're discussing your hiring options and considering the qualifications of one candidate.
So to finish that thought, I would be comfortable considering the qualifications of the candidate. I would not be comfortable making a direct appointment today.
What he said. May I?
Yeah, sure.
No, I agree. I actually don't talk to staff, so I guess I don't get around enough. I talk to the executive director, our director. But I've just heard you present and I know your work and it's impressive. And so it's not about our candidate that's sitting at the table. It's about process for me. And to take a breath, we said Director Prince is going to be around a couple more months. So we don't need to rush it. We can make a decision at our next meeting. We can even make a decision to look at an appointment and just give it a month, give our new members a chance to, you know, do a little getting to know you and hearing. And I just think it just looks like we're doing more of our due diligence by doing that. I appreciate what a great job Terra is doing, but I just would I'm dealing with 2 hours of knowing this and I'm not quite ready.
So, well, the discussion. So, I guess we look for, take a roll.
Well, should
We
we?
need to make a motion for.
I think we made a motion,
Well, I think we like, I'd be in favor of direct appoint, but I think it's, and I would be willing to make a motion for that just to, so we can see where everyone's at on it. I mean, I don't know. Anyone else has thoughts, but I do, I understand the concerns, but just for the stability of the organ, I'm strongly in favor, would make the motion, but, I understand if it doesn't pass as well, so.
But the motion that's on the table,
It's-
for clarification, to me almost sounds like two motions. And so can I have clarification on that? Because it sounds like the first part of the motion was explore, the second part of the motion was direct appointment.
If I may, the second part of the motion, we jumped ahead a little bit, was to consider qualifications, the resumes, not to make a direct hire or to hire at this time. It was to consider, which was already done. And then the first part of the motion is to consider your options for direct hire or going out. If indeed there is appetite on the commission to move, say, yes, we would like to direct hire versus going out, then you can make that decision under this motion. If indeed the commission is not ready to make that decision, the maker can then decide to withdraw the motion and you can kick the can down the road till the next meeting.
Director, I would just like to say that I love continuity. I love process. I think it's so important having owned and managed businesses, understanding that with new hires or new folks, there's a massive learning curve, which can slow an agenda. And I believe whether we kick the can down for another month to have another process to consider whom we have before us, who is more than qualified, I don't see any benefit in that. So I would like to make a motion to move forward with direct appointment.
the motion has been made and seconded, so this first motion,
The first motion was to discuss. I think what she's making is a motion to do the direct appointment.
Correct.
Didn't you make a friendly amendment?
If you will entertain a friendly amendment, then
Yes.
that motion can be
I
made.
would-
But we have a motion on the table to discuss and decide upon direct hire or outside recruitment.
So. Is she say, I mean, I think what the amendment would be is then for direct hire, correct? Yeah, I mean, I think, is my
That's
understanding? Yeah, I would, so I need to, yeah, I would like to have that added to the motion that we're voting on.
So as I hear it, the maker of the motion is amenable to the friendly amendment, and that friendly amendment would be to change the motion to pursue a direct hire approach, not for any one candidate, but that you will pursue a direct hire approach, correct?
For Tara.
Oh,
Tara.
okay,
Yes.
For Tara.
all right.
Like Sarah.
So then it sounds as if we have an amended motion that the board consider at this point direct hire of your deputy director, Tara Wasiak.
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you.
So we're in discussion on that. I will share that I have met you briefly.
If I might,
Oh, sure.
still need a second.
Who seconded?
Second.
Okay, moved in second,
Thank
discussion.
But I agree with my new colleague, or I feel similarly to my new colleague on the commission that I just feel like I need a little bit of time. And while I appreciate the not wanting to slow down continuity, I think taking a month is completely reasonable. And as I would support moving toward an interim appointment and then having at least a month or two to talk about further process after that. likely going in that direction, but I just think taking a month is appropriate.
Commissioner Hayes?
Quick question. If we took a month, we would not have to do an interim, right? Because you're still around.
I believe your last day of work is June 30th or July 1, I'm not sure.
June 30th.
Be a good idea to do an interim. So,
So do we have one motion
Yeah.
right now?
right, we're talking.
So,
Can I?
I'll be out for a surgery before June 30th. Just, didn't,
That's okay. I just clarification.
Yeah.
So so I would be one of the people that would have to vote no.
Good.
Because I do want that month and I'm great with the idea of an interim for that month and then come back and look at the direct hire. What I don't like is that if it goes 4-3, that's what hangs over a director. It doesn't, unfortunately, we don't tend to look and say, oh, why did they vote no? It shows a no confidence, and that really would be hard for me. But I have to vote with the fact that I haven't had time to think about the process that I want. We have another new director we need to bring along that will be here. I would love it to be a unanimous vote, and I see that today it will not be a unanimous vote. So I'd like my colleagues to think about that.
all right, it's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Can we do a friendly amendment to the motion maker, just after everything you've heard? That we appoint, we could look at a direct hire, we appoint Tara as interim, and that we come back and we vote on this next month.
We had discussion before, do I have to, and I hear what you're saying, and yeah, and I'm with you on the concept, or I'm with you on the confidence. I mean, I think that, my sincere belief is that once you have the ability to speak with Tara and staff, I think that you'll be on the same page. I do get the sense that there is, yeah, there's some reservation, it sounds like, or not reservation, but we want everybody confident with it. I'd be willing to amend that.
Is that
Suggestion in that we can't have two directors and the current director will be in place until
surgery?
July 1 or July 1, I think.
yeah, July 1.
Then an interim would not be necessary because we can't have two directors.
So then my friendly amendment would change. Still friendly, to say that we look at a direct hire and we have that discussion and vote at our next meeting. And again, I've spoken to it, so I'm not going to do that.
So that motion would keep the status quo right now. And so it's probably not needed because it doesn't really affect anything.
Well, except it is needed.
Okay.
That we are actually looking at a direct hire
Okay.
in a month. Now, we could change that, but I think it's a signal to people that this is the path, and what I hear from my colleagues, this is the path people want to go down. Does that make sense to you, or do you have questions, what's going on in my head?
No, I'm pretty clear. I kind of want to defer a little bit to legal because you're mentioning that aspects of the law that I'm not as familiar with about the two directors at once and some of that. So I mean, the original motion is just for the discussion of this. Amended it to Tamiko added to consider direct appointment for Tara, and so it almost feels like this particular motion may be getting a little too convoluted, so I'm trying to.
I'm happy to offer some clarification. If indeed you want to go back to your original motion, that would suffice. The board could then make a decision regarding direct hire or open recruitment.
I think that'd probably be simplest, just with a whether we're gonna do direct hire recruitment and then maybe make a second motion after we kind of determine whether we're gonna do direct hire or recruitment. Would that
I
be
appreciate that.
okay? So let's, yeah.
No friendly amendments.
So, all for the record, it sounds as if Commissioner Melitas, like, um, is rejecting the friendly amendment and going with his first original motion, which was for the board to decide between direct hire or outside recruitment.
Yeah, just going back to the original, not reject, well, I guess, yeah, technically rejecting, but I
I won't take it personally.
respectfully. Yeah, so just going back to the original.
And so, an amendment to make it more definite is that it sounds as if you would like to amend it to say, I move that we consider a direct hire, we take a direct hire approach.
Correct.
And we need a second for that. So
Moved and seconded.
a friendly amendment request and a second.
Actually, one more clarification. A direct hire approach, but that can be done in a month or 2 months, but it's just a path.
I don't think anybody can promise what will happen in the future. I think that it's best probably to just say direct hire approach, and then the board can decide how fast it would like to act at its next meeting. So we do need a request for a friendly amendment to the motion to pursue direct hire. We need a second, and then if we need any more discussion on that, a discussion and a vote.
I will make a request for a friendly amendment to the motion for director.
To pursue a direct hire.
Pursue a direct hire.
Second, Chair.
Been moved and seconded. We had enough discussion. Okay. All right.
Please don't ask me to repeat that.
No. Could we call for the,
We do need to repeat the motion before we vote.
Just the amendment.
The board.
Okay.
To pursue a direct hire.
Commissioner Warren made a second or a friendly amendment to pursue the direct hire approach.
all right. We call the roll, please.
Commissioner Badgepie,
Oh, yes.
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Melitas.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty.
Yeah.
Commissioner Warren.
Yeah.
Chair Doherty.
Yes. So now do we
We need a second motion.
Yeah.
we got everybody. So that motion passes. We have a second motion on here.
Chair,
Yes.
I would move that the commission offer the director position to Deputy Director Laziak and direct the chair to work with HR and legal counsel to perform the necessary tasks to make that offer.
Chair, I would second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. We've had,
I will just repeat,
okay.
it will not be unanimous if we do that.
Gotcha.
And I don't think that's fair to Sarah, direct.
Tara.
Sarah. Totally messed her up. Sarah. And so I will be voting no. I
Okay.
would love to do it in 30 days at our next meeting.
All right.
Chair. And I just want to reiterate for the record that my vote no would not be a reflection on Tara being appointed to this position. It would just be a process.
Yeah, I think that people understand that it's not a detriment to saying anything negative about Tara, except the pronunciation of her. So it's moved and seconded with for discussion.
I just want to say, I think it's clear that we have great confidence in you. And I understand why, especially the two new members of the board wouldn't want to say anything. And I appreciate that you've only had a couple of hours notice. But I don't really want this to be like hanging over Tara's head for a month either. Because I think she's doing important work and, she deserves our confidence.
Commissioner, sorry. Can I just ask, Tara, what would a month look like for you? Are you losing time? Are you moving forward with anything? Does this impact you or your ability to move things forward?
That's a great question, Commissioner Warren. I don't think so. I mean, I'm gonna be focused on the work and the employees, regardless of title, so I don't think so. I'd have to think about it a little bit, like what are the impacts? When Director Prince is out for that small period of time, there are some.
I just want to clarify that even though the director will be out on vacation, no direct hire will be effective until after he retires. Just if that assists you, sorry to interrupt.
Thank you, that's helpful. So no, it won't impact me because when Director Prince is out of the office, I'm the acting director anyway, so I have all this approval authority and that sort of thing. So in terms of continuity of business, we'll keep rolling.
Thank you. So I just really want to reiterate, I would love to have it unanimous to hire an executive director, and that will not happen today.
Well, and I want to also point out, it's been pointed out that it's not a lack of confidence in
Right.
Tara. We made that clear, that's on the record, so I understand, I understand. We completed the discussion. You call the roll?
Commissioner Vashpay,
No.
Commissioner Chari,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
No.
Commissioner Melidas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
No.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes,
Motion passes.
the motion passes. I want to thank you, Tara, for the incredible work you've done to bring us to this point with Craig, and for stepping up. I know we had discussions about whether you wanted to step up or not, and you've taken on everything, and then some in this organization in a very complex and difficult time, and you've done a remarkable job. So thank you for your effort, and thank you for saying yes.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Commission. I'm emotional. I'm just honored. Thank you.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
think you're amazing, and you'll do great.
I really love it here.
There's somebody else.
Thank you all for that. This is difficult part of what we do. So thank you. No, where the hell are we? Excuse me.
I know.
Oh, we have the distilled spirits, is that where we're at?
Retail services.
Wait. Where are we?
Okay. Am I looking at the right thing?
No, I think you're.
That exec session.
I lied. Yeah, we have Lisa from Mornings do the construction estate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
See, the one time I'm right with you. Could we have Lisa Burton give us a construction update?
Yes, thank you, Chair Doherty. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. Thank you. For the record, my name is Lisa Bertram, the Distilled Spirits Program Director for the OLCC. Happy to give a construction update today on our Meadowlark project down in Canby, Oregon. As Director Prince said, it is a muddy mess down there, which is a really good thing. When I first looked at the Google Earth pictures, it was very grassy. And when I look at them today, it looks very different. So construction is well underway. We have temp roads that are built on the site for construction traffic. As of today, we're working on really the building pad, which is the slab, the footing and everything for the warehouse, the foundations, as well as, we're trenching for utilities, water detention, those types of things. So in Oregon, detention is underground. And so a lot of activity is going on at the site today. As far as the site itself, we do have a command center on site. Our construction partner, J.E. Dunn, Superintendent Jeff Byrne is at the site. We have weekly meetings with the owner, which is us, the architect and the construction team. After that meeting, there is a site walk that they do. It is a massive site. The scale is hard to really get a handle on unless you're out there. So we do have those meetings. Folks that go out to the site can check in with that superintendent. There's an orientation as well as a lot of safety that's going on at the site to keep people safe. As of right now, there's also a road closure on First Ave. So I've got this red line. This is First Ave in the picture. There's a road closure there to make sure that we're keeping the construction traffic safe from regular traffic. And so those are some of the things that are happening today out in Canby. A couple pictures on the left here, some of our detention equipment, as well as some piping for plumbing. On the right, the rebar and stuff that's going inside the slab. So as of right now, slab is about 2 weeks out, which is really exciting. So what that means is we've got to get everything that's supposed to go in the slab already in the ground, such as, plumbing, conduit, things of that nature. So these are a couple of pictures of that. So on the left, this is actually where the dock office is going to go on the western side of the building. So you can see the plumbing is going in for that. Really getting everything in the ground so that we can pour the slab here in a couple weeks. On the right-hand side is one of our detention areas, really, digging to make sure that we have appropriate drainage for the site. A lot of work is going into that right now to make sure we have appropriate drainage and that where we need to put those detentions, it's actually going to work. Big things is always budget and schedule. So the budget right now, we're updating as items are finalized. What does that mean? We have estimates from our construction partners as things are being, as the work is actually being done, we'll get those real numbers and we update the budget appropriately. The IFC, which is issued for construction, that's a set. We had our construction set and this is the IFC set. It really encompasses everything that's supposed to be going on inside the building, outside the building, not just the construction, but if you think of everything that goes into a building, electrical, plumbing, carpet, all of those things, air vents, everything is in that set. We're reviewing right now. We're reviewing that with our partner Cummings Group, and we'll get that back to the construction team. After we have that set, that's really going to tell them what we have for construction. Things are going to change after that. We know this. We can't catch every single thing in a building as of today. So as we work forward, we'll have some change orders and owner transfers. The change orders are just things that we need to update later that we didn't contemplate or maybe miss at the time. And then the owner transfers, it really has to do more with the budget about, if we have a budgeted amount and it ends up coming in lower, we can use those funds for something else. Vice versa, if a budget item comes in higher, we can move some money around from another area. So I do want to reiterate here that we have a budget. We're on budget today. Our bottom line number has not changed. So as we get these actuals in, we're updating that really, really in situ as we're paying those bills. And so, one of my responsibilities is making sure we stay in that budget. We only have a certain amount of money to use for this. And as of today, we are on budget. The other big thing is the schedule. So we have a very robust schedule from J.E. Dunn, our construction partner. As of today, we're doing really great on that schedule. We're working on the MHS, which is that material handling system, conveyance, and also the racking. Racking is really where we just store the product until it's ready to be distributed. That's a big deal. That's a big part of this construction area, this box, right? Is making sure we get those things in the right area so that, again, the slab is the right way. We have the foundation is in the right place, the plumbing, the electrical conduit, all of that stuff needs to be in the right places as we move forward. We're also working on our tilt panel finalization. So this is a tilt panel building, meaning that the sides of the box or the walls are going to be poured and then lifted up on the sides. Those are really important to make sure we have the right doors in the right place, egress doors, fire doors, all of that stuff needs to make sure that it's in that finalization before those are poured. Changes to those type of things later are more of a cost. So that's why it's really imperative that we're looking at those things now, making sure that we're on schedule with those so that we can hit these key benchmarks like the slab and the tilt panels. And as I said, we're either ahead of schedule on certain areas or right on schedule with certain areas. The construction team is really good about pivoting. So if they can't do one thing on one day, there's a lot of activity going on. And so they can pivot to something else and then come back to stay on schedule. we have, I say we have a weekly meeting. We actually have several weekly meetings with different groups to ensure that we're staying on, on focus on what is the immediate need, what OLCC is making decisions on, and what we need to move forward. Our main goal is to make sure that, if we're asked to make a decision on something, that we have the right information, we understand how it fits in the budget and the schedule, and that we're getting those decisions back to this team so that we can keep moving forward. I want to just point out some risks and opportunities here, because I think it's important at this part of the project. One of the big risks that we have right now is our permanent power. So we are getting our load power from Canby PUD, Power Utility District of Canby. There's some concerns with the way that they are able to get power to the site. So that's something that we're working on now to ensure that we can get power when we need it. We do have temporary power at the site now, which is what our construction partners are using at the site. But really this is, long-term power. The city of Canby has other construction projects that it's contemplating as well as ours. And so there's a lot that goes into the total load that's going to come from Canby PUD. Some of the things that we have done with this bill is we have an on-site generator. That generator is going to be used for, the first thing is safety, security, fire, really those key infrastructure items that we need all the time. So if the power does go out, the generator will kick on. We have full security at the site, full fire suppression in case anything happens. So in the case of down power, we will be up and running. That generator is also sized to run the material handling system if needed. So if it's a non-emergency situation, we just lose power for maybe a day or a couple hours, we're still able to operate the material handling system. We actually looked at that for a 48 to 72 hour swing. So for if the power is down for several days in a row, we're definitely able to do safety security, but we also are able to use the MHS for distribution. So as you know, just because power is out in one area of the state doesn't mean it's out everywhere. And so we are able to continue to operate with that generator sizing. The other thing we have is solar panels. So, in Oregon, we have a certain percentage of our budget needs to be spent on energy efficiency. One of those things is solar panels. And so we'll have solar panels on the roof. Those at this point are going to be just fed back into the building itself. So either we can, use them for lights, use them for, things within the building. So we will have solar power as well. On-site work, there's always risks to on-site work. So soil testing, as well as infiltration testing. Infiltration is really just the way that the water, again, drains from the site. And so, we're looking at as they're digging into the soil, finding large boulders, for example, right? Those were not known. So getting those out and making sure that we stay on schedule. At this time, everything that we've run into so far, we've been able to either mitigate or have a plan for. And again, still on schedule with that slab coming in the next couple weeks. Some of the opportunities. One is the racking layout. So this is kind of what I touched on a little bit before, but understanding our needs for storage of distilled products, how they get from the racking solution to the conveyance and then out to the agents in the stores. So understanding what that means, utilizing the right size of racking, and then looking at the location of those. So this building is, it's meant to be for, we're going to go live with this building in August of next year, but this is a long-term building. We want to live in Canby for a very long time. And so we need to understand, not just what we need for the first 1 year, 10 year, but the next 20 or 30 years. So understanding what we do with the slab is very important to what we put in the building. So, making a slab that can withstand heavy racking, or maybe in the future we put in, some more autonomous robot picking solutions. Those are not things we're putting in today, but 20 years from now, conveyance might look a lot different. And so we want to be prepared for that future state, so that we're building a foundation today that can get us through, really through that long-term goal of being in Canby and being that OLCC distribution of the future. The other big opportunity is that site access and those site walks. So just allowing, the team, the OAC team, which is owner, architect, construction, having that team being able to go to the site to see things in real time, understand what that looks like. The construction team also has weather and contingency days built in the schedule. So, as we get into, we're kind of out of a little bit of a rainy season, those are all contemplated in the schedule. And so we have really opportunities, like I said, to stay on schedule, even if we have things that come up, we're able to pivot and really work through those things. The risks and opportunities are going to continue to evolve. And so I will be continuing to update this group on, where those things go, as things come into play. As we get these building walls up, we're gonna move from kind of the outside of the building to the inside. It's a long process. There's a lot that goes into building this gigantic piece of infrastructure. And so just so you all know, that's a key piece of this, is understanding where we are and how do we get to the end. Current schedule, this is just a high level schedule. I'll also be taking this to more granular. So I originally showed you this. This is really just from beginning to end. How do we get there? I'm going to update this a little bit to get some more key pieces now that we're in construction, such as, when do those tilt panels go up? When do we start kind of the interior, things like that. So you will see the schedule changing just a bit as we move forward. Lastly, I just wanted to show the building again. This was our LRS architects did this rendering of what the building's going to look like in the future. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a great project once it's all done. But here you can see, kind of the solar panels on the roof. This is probably less than we're going to put in. We're going to actually put in quite a bit more. But you can also see this shorter section in the front is where those offices are going to be. So administration offices, and then there's going to be some offices in the back, which is that dock office. And then truck traffic, you can see there's a truck traffic lane. On this side, there's also going to be a truck traffic lane. This is going to be the north side of the building. So really, most of the truck traffic we're going to have come in the north, whereas pedestrian traffic, car traffic is going to be coming in at this side. There's going to be a lot of landscaping as well as art. So we have a certain percentage, 1% of our total build has to be spent on art. We do have some art at the current headquarters that will be relocating to this build. And then we'll also have some new pieces out there as well. But this area in front will be kind of a, just a little garden area that people can hang out in. The public can come and see it. And then we have some other areas too that we're looking at to ensure that we have, again, infrastructure for the future. So EV charging, things like that. And so again, just to reiterate, we're building it today, but it's really for the long-term use for the OLCC. And I'm very excited that the muddy mess is getting better, and pretty soon there'll be way more concrete out there. And so, to Director Prince's point, if you happen to be in Canby, do drive by. It's kind of a cool thing to see. There's a lot of machinery out there, a lot of things happening, and that's going to continue for the next year. So that's my report. Any questions from the board?
Commissioners? Questions?
It's impressive that we're on budget.
Great.
Thank you, Commissioner Warren. Thank you for that. For the new commissioners, but for everyone, Lisa, Bertram, and Tara and I have a huge resource to meet those risks and opportunities, and that is our trade association, the National Alcoholic Beverage Control Association. We have advisory committees that we work with. We have an annual conference that we go to. And I have, it's always a comfort to know you're not alone doing this. Most of the states that have the control system, they went in place right after Prohibition. They went in place in 1933. And so I was counting them up on my fingers and thumbs. I think 7 states are in this process of, when you have something that's worked so well, it has these public health benefits and these revenue benefits of the state actually acting in that warehousing and wholesaling position. We want to maintain it, and we want to make sure that we have partners on how we do this. So I'm so thankful for the NABCA Association and how they've supported us. And it's always good to know you're not alone. So I just wanted to say that and say a deep thank you to Tara and Lisa for having that connection with NABCA and maintaining that.
Thank you. Commissioners, any questions? I have a couple of questions. We've got solar panels. Lisa, what percentage of power do the solar panels, or do you expect they would provide of all
Yep,
the
so
power?
that's something, yeah, that's actually something we're working on now with our architects. So 1.5% of the total funds or the total budget needs to be spent on energy efficiency. So solar panels is really just one of those. EV charging is another. We have some skylights that are gonna, give us more light than what we need as far as like lighting. And then we're using some high efficiency LEDs. So right now, that's part of what we're working on is how many solar panels do we need to kind of, offset that load? So I don't have that number today, but that's
Yep.
something that we're looking at as a total kind of energy efficiency package.
Great. Also, and we've got 1% for art.
Mhm.
That number come to, what do we peg that number at?
Yeah, it's around 400. Yeah, it's about $1.4 million. And
Oh.
so 1.4 million. So some of that is used to refurbish the art we have and move it. And then some of it is to put new art at the site. So one of those examples is we do have the Zor Lutheran Cemetery on our site. In this picture, it's not in the picture, but it's actually down here in this big green space. We have a buffer, a 25-foot easement around that, so we won't be close to it. But then we're putting in kind of an art screen on two sides of it so that people coming to this location don't necessarily have to see the cemetery. And so that's an example of some new art that we're putting in. And we have an art commission the Oregon Art Commission, we're working with them. And then we have an art committee internal that we're also working with. Alan Rowe is on that committee, ensuring that, one, we have spent enough, but then also, the things that we have, we're taking with us because as we know, HQ is also moving. And so that the pieces of art that you see, such as, there's it's not a heron, but there's a bird out front of the OLCC headquarters, that bronze statue that is going to move to this facility. And so we've used some of the money for that as well.
Great.
Chair, question.
Commissioner,
Lisa, for the art budget, are we focused on local Oregon artists or is it just annual art?
This is a great question. I believe it's local artists. Again, the Oregon Art Commission is working in tandem with us to get local artists. I believe they're all from Oregon. I can make sure I get that information to you. But yeah, that was one of the things that, we're looking at, not just local artists, but then like local art too. So that screen, what are we going to put on the screen? I think we're going to use kind of a Meadowlark theme there as well to keep, again, Oregon themed for this center.
Lisa, several of us were out there and had shovels in our hand, we're digging, and we haven't received our checks yet. I'm wondering.
Well, I heard they were supposed to give you the shovel. Did you get to keep your shovel or your PPE?
My wife said not qualified for the shovel though.
That was an exciting event. I was very sorry I couldn't make it out there for that, but that was really the groundbreaking ceremony. That was a huge event. John Brady and the communication team got that out on social media. We've had a lot of good hits on that as well. So just a really exciting event to put that out for the community and let people know, hey, we've been talking about this for a long time, but it's actually happening. So
great job. That was a great event.
Yeah.
Lisa, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Great presentation. Very exciting.
Thank you.
So now we have matters pertaining to new agents. So we have the Eugene downtown location coming up. Hey, Brian.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
Morning. Sure, commissioners, welcome new commissioners. For the record, I'm Brian Aker, District Manager and Interim Director of Retail Services. And today we've got 2 store appointments for your consideration. 1218 Eugene downtown. We have 3 finalists. And 1236 Portland Barnes. And we have 2 finalists for that store as well. As a reminder, we're giving the finalists 8 minutes for their presentation.
Okay.
And if you want to select it.
Oh, do you want to sign time?
I need a microphone. You want my phone?
Oh,
No, I can.
you like that.
Yeah.
I can find my timer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll go to my, yeah, sure.
Okay,
right, so with that, we'll welcome up Gateway Liquor Store to LLC with Agent Representative Harpreet Senga.
Oh, yeah. Good job.
Good morning. Barely, sorry, we
Are we allowing 8 minutes now? Is that
8 minutes.
8 minutes, okay. Welcome.
Thank you. Harpreet, you'll have 8 minutes for your presentation. If we interrupt your presentation at any time to ask questions, we'll stop the clock so that you have the. And then I'll give you a 1 minute countdown and a 30-second countdown.
Just 1 minute.
Okay, 1 minute countdown. Whenever you're ready, I'll start.
For the record, my name is Harpreet Senga and I'm ready now. Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Harpreet Senga and I am representing the Gateway Liquor Store LLC. And first I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my presentation for Eugene Agency Store, Downtown Liquor Store, number 1280. Next slide, please. I am from Eugene and born and raised in India. I came to United States as a student and I gained my MBA from University of Findlay, Ohio in 2010. Through my 15 years of experience in retail industry and accounting, I have gained hands-on knowledge of successfully operating a business. I have a beautiful family of 5, where we have 2 kids, 12 and 9, with my retired mother-in-law, who help us around the house and kids. This gives me and my husband enough time to focus on our career path. Currently, I'm enjoying my position as a current liquor agent at store 1143 Springfield Gateway. And before that, I managed several retail businesses for 13 years. Next slide, please. My MBA has supplemented my career and experience tremendously in driving business research. Retail management is my thriving skill set for a decade now, and success in the business venture is testimony to this. Sales at the Gateway Liquor Store has increased 13.48% compared to previous year, and it is increasing consistently since I took it. While other Springfield stores are down by 5.5%, and Eugene store has a decline sale of 4.5%. I'm proficient in using OLA's POS system, bank card deposit, cash handling, store sale reporting weekly and monthly, as well as inventory management and auditing assistance. With understanding the business industry, market, or operating cycle, I can confidently optimize my resources to play to the business strength and overcome weaknesses. My analytical skill helped me master sales flow management as well as inventory in the backroom. Staying on top of my customer seasonal demands will help me become the market favorite. On top of my regulatory requirement, I always implement best business practices and remedies for loss prevention. My business acumen is fueled by my integrity and ethical business conduct. Next slide, please. Glance at the Downtown Liquor Store. Store is located in the core of Eugene. It's a hustling location attracting a lot of tourists in spring, summer, and early fall. Locality is densely populated with a variety of demographics. It can cater to numerous hotels, bars, and restaurants of the downtown. Next slide, please. My vision for the store include interior and exterior upgrade, as well as work toward the consumer and licensee sale, which will bring more revenue. Next slide, please. While talking about the exterior upgrade, I will replace the open sign with a bigger and brighter sign because front sign is very dim and it's barely seeable from the street. Next slide, please. And also my plan is to replace the sandwich sign with a big freestanding pylon sign on the street. Store, this is a big store, it's 7,204 square feet with 16 or 17 parking lot, but there is a no like outside sign and a lot of traffic. It's on a busy street. Next slide, please. Exterior upgrade also include like adding more cameras because building has multiple entries and current system does not cover everything. Next slide, please. Interior upgrade include replacing and relocating the cashier counter because it's at the very end of one store side, and it eliminate the cashier vision because there is a wine setup. I will change it to the center of the store so that it will give 360-degree view to the store. Next slide, please. Also replacing the counter shelf with deep in-depth shelf, and also I will use the top shelf to display the top item or high value products because it is stacked and mixed with the regular stuff. Next slide, please. Also, I will add proper signs to each section because right now there is a vendor like random allocation of the product. And also the high volume product is on the regular shelf. And I will also like to organize the complementary product section for the ease of shopping. Next slide, please. While talking about the consumer sales, increase in consumer sale, I noticed the store sale has decreased by 10.5% in 2024, while the state-wise decline is 2.66%. And I think adding more business hour for the customer convenience definitely bring more footfall to the store, and adding cooler for seasonal OLCCs, RTDs or seasonal product be a good idea. In addition to this, I'm going to organize shelves and placement of shelves and new sign for the ease of shopping. Adding tobacco product to the store. Store doesn't carry any cigarette product or chew. So I think that will also provide wholesome shopping experience. And reconnected with the bars, bring more business. In addition to this, I will also appreciate customer feedback and work on the concerns. Next slide, please. To gain more licensee sale, I will appoint a dedicated customer service representative for bar account, and also earn the lost business by building positive relation and mending customer concern. Also planning to extend the delivery hour over the weekend and special event in the city. In addition to this, I will leverage my location and customer relationship management to bring more business. With the new store hours, I'm going to add 10 more hours per week to the business operation, which will also lead toward the growth in the revenue. Next slide, please. Timeline of changes. Downtown Liquor is a very high volume store in Eugene. I would dedicate my time and understanding to learn more about the business operation, familiarizing myself with the current team, bar account, documentation, and inventory. As each store and their demographic are different, which means I have to be very diligent while rolling out any changes to make sure.
1 minute.
Each step will lead toward a positive aspect. For the timeline, I will change sign and video surveillance system immediately and add cooler in the first month and change counter shelf and cashier counter in 6 months. My commitment will be I'm working 40 hours at least at this 35 to 40 hours initially because I just live 8 minutes away from the house, and I will take all the 11 employees that are currently working over there.
30 seconds.
Use all my knowledge and training gained at my Gateway Liquor to store toward the business. For funding, I will use 400K for my personal fund and 600K for SBA loan. And last slide, thank you for this opportunity to share my vision for the store 1218. Love to answer any questions.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Under
Excellent.
8 minutes.
Commissioner.
Hi, I'm from Eugene,
Love to.
and I've actually been in this store, and excellent employees I have found as a customer. But my question is, you said you would take all of them. Have you had a chance to meet with them?
Yes,
Talk
I
to them?
have with Ken and few of the employees, Nick and.
I wouldn't
maybe
know their
someone-
names. I
Yes,
just- Okay, thank you. I just was curious.
yes, no,
Thank
I'm in touch with them.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Excellent presentations. Thank you.
Up next, we have Westmoreland Liquid Inc. and Agent Representative Jesse.
Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Oh, good morning, sir. Yes, sir. I got a couple of these little QR code deals. Mine.
Y'all need to check their IDs before we get started.
So Sierra is also part of the
John Corporation,
the
correct?
corporation for Westmoreland Liquid.
Y'all said.
Okay, so
Yes.
again, y'all have 8 minutes. I'll give you a 1 minute countdown and maybe a 30 second. So we're ready.
Okay, well, good morning, Chairman, Commissioners, all CC staff and all attendees. My name is Jesse Bolander, and please introduce my wife, my daughter Sierra, and her fiance Skylar. Together, we're here today to present our comprehensive plan for the downtown Eugene liquor store. The liquor industry was built on family ties, and ours is in its 4th generation here in Oregon. Next slide, please. At Westmoreland, our mission is to offer excellent service and selection in a clean, welcome store, while also operating with integrity and proudly representing Oregon and the OLCC. I'd like to acknowledge the talented competitors presenting today. However, we're here to show you that we're the most qualified and the best choice for such a high volume liquor store. We'd like to extend our best wishes to Ken in his retirement. Ken is fully endorsing us to continue the legacy of the downtown liquor store. We thank him and recognize that we will be negotiating a mutual deal on his related items. Next slide, please. And video, sorry, I'm supposed to be on that one. Go ahead and do the next slide. Now, given that a picture is worth 1,000 words, I like to show the recent renovations at our current liquor stores. My first job actually was just down the street here at the Milwaukee liquor store, using every penny to my name and taking on more debt than I would recommend. I was selected agent at the Westmoreland liquor store in 1999. Currently, I've been a liquor agent for 26 years and operate with zero debt. Looking forward, we recognize Sierra and Skylar are the future of responsible liquor store operators in Oregon. They possess a combination of youth and experience and passion. Tony and I will continue to mentor them as we progress into the industry. I'll now step aside and let Sierra and Skylar present our plan for the future of the downtown liquor store. But first, I'd like to welcome you to the renovated Lebanon store. Come on in and take a look around.
Hello, Commissioners. I'm Sierra Bolander. I've managed the Santa Clara and Lebanon liquor stores for 6 years and handled every aspect of the liquor store's daily operations. I currently work in logistics at Amazon, managing performance at fulfillment centers across the U.S. As a proud Mexican-American woman in the liquor industry, I'm passionate about bringing representation, responsibility, and innovation to this space. I've lived and worked in Eugene for over 6 years and graduated from the University of Oregon. I know all the people and the culture, and I care deeply about giving back through this opportunity. I'd now like to introduce my fiance, Skylar.
Good morning, Chair and Commissioners. My name is Skylar Hume.
Congratulations on fiance.
Thank you, sir. I'm a Native American Tlingit tribe member and 1st generation graduate from the University of Oregon. I've worked in Eugene for over 6 years as a manager at the Nike downtown location while assisting part-time at the Santa Clara liquor store. I'm currently an account manager in the forest products industry where I oversee $1 million in inventory.
Hold on a second here.
We're good to go ahead to the next slide, please.
Yeah, let me get out of it.
Madam Chair endorses you.
Okay.
Okay, this is the current state of the store. It has a solid foundation, but it's showing its age and deserves a modern refresh to reach its full potential. Next slide, please. We're planning a full store reset, including reorganizing the layout and adding modern category signage. We'll be installing a second walk-in cooler and/or beer cave and refreshing paint on the interior, exterior, and parking lot. We'll be enhancing our security system with an upgraded alarm and cameras with remote surveillance access. Upgraded lighting and flooring will modernize the space, and the newly renovated counter area will improve the overall checkout experience. Product-wise, we'll expand our selection of RTDs, craft beer, wine, and offer a new curated tobacco selection.
These renovations will cost between 70 to 100K, which is well within our allocated budget. Next slide, please. The current location is ideal. It's right in the heart of Eugene, easily accessible and surrounded by popular entertainment. It has a huge dedicated parking lot and over 7,000 square feet of retail space, which allows ample room for future growth. The current lease runs through 2029. The downtown store is conveniently located near our Santa Clara store, allowing us to transfer inventory seamlessly and cross-train staff at both locations. Additionally, we'd like to add that all current managers and staff at the downtown store have expressed their interest in staying on to us. Next slide, please.
Well, we see several key growth opportunities moving forward. First, we'll be extending bar deliveries to any day of the week rather than just one. To retain current business, we'll meet with all current bar accounts to discuss strengths and opportunities and ensure we're supporting them to the best of our ability. We'll be investing in targeted ads on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook to significantly improve our online presence. We'll have a dedicated space for regularly scheduled in-store tastings to feature local distilleries, wineries, and breweries, and we'll be creating themed activations for sporting events and popular local happenings. To expand our reach, we'll meet with all event planners and recently opened restaurants and bars within a 20-mile radius. We'll monitor and gather feedback to adjust store hours to optimal levels, and we'll be extending weekend hours to meet demand. Lastly, we'll be working with the OLCC to explore AI-based inventory management solutions, which will create efficiencies both for our store individually and for the OLCC as a whole. Next slide, please. We're projecting a 15% increase in sales during our first year of ownership, and that'll begin with regaining a 10% lost sales over the past year, while driving 5% of new growth through new growth initiatives. Our action plan for that focuses primarily on rebuilding customer loyalty, executing targeted marketing, and then for offering an entirely refreshed store and product mix. We believe this approach will not only restore lost sales, but it will really set up this store, position this store for long-term success moving forward. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Oh, wait, sorry, go back. Okay, Gen Z is buying significantly less liquor than previous generations, but as members of Gen Z ourselves, Sierra and I really feel like we're uniquely positioned to market them in a way which resonates. To stay ahead of the curve, we'll be actively monitoring social media trends to identify popular spirits and related items. With Gen Z shifting their preferences, we'll prioritize items like tequila, whiskey, and ready-to-drink spirits, which have really shown significant growth as of recent. By aligning our inventory with these trends, we can attract a new customer base while staying responsive to evolving buying behaviors. Next slide, please.
Our grand reopening is tentatively scheduled for November 21st, 2025. We'll be kicking off the holiday season, which is the biggest period for alcohol sales in the US. This weekend also coincides with the Oregon versus USC football game and Parents Weekend at the University of Oregon, bringing an additional 65,000 visitors to town on average. We'll capitalize on the influx of people by decorating the store, hosting tastings, giveaways, and inviting local vendors to participate. This event will be promoted through social media, ads, and flyers leading up to the weekend to ensure a strong turnout. Next slide, please.
Given that Eugene is a college town with a large population of underage students, we'll enforce a strict policy with zero tolerance for underage sales. All employees will complete OLCC-approved alcohol service and ID verification training every 6 months to ensure we're constantly refreshed and well-equipped to refuse sales safely and confidently. Next slide, please.
During the uncertain times of COVID, we kept our staff employed. We did everything we could to support our community. We launched a donation fund to help bartenders and servers who were temporarily out of business, and our company was able to raise $20,000. That money was given back directly to the bars and to their staff to enable them to pay their bills. I would look forward to being able to give back like that in the future. Next slide, please.
15 seconds.
You may be asking yourself why we are the best and why we should be given this store, but as you can see in front of you, we've got great talent. I've got a husband who's been doing this a long time, and I'm a proud mom. That being said, you can look at, if you scan your QR, oh my gosh, I'm getting so happy at these guys. Scan your QR code in front of you and you'll be able to see a little bit more about each of us individually and what makes us the best choice. And we really look forward to any questions you might have.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Proud mama.
Yeah.
Chair.
Commissioner.
A really great job. That was a great presentation, and I love the QR code here. That's very innovative. Can you tell me, I have college students and they are really adept at getting alcohol when they want to get alcohol. Can you talk to me about delivery and how you're going to handle that, considering, how to not have underage sales
when you do deliveries specifically?
Yeah, well, the deliveries are specifically for bar orders. It's not gonna be to any, just like regular person,
Got
it's just for bars, so.
Got it.
But I've personally worked in the Eugene store already and I've dealt with tons of college students with fake ID, so we already know how to handle that. It's nothing new.
That's
Yeah.
very important for us. So it's something we're
It's our
gonna hit,
number one priority, honestly.
we're gonna hit on the head and,
Yeah.
be sure that's a top priority for our store and make sure the staff is well trained and make sure we retrain the staff. It'll be a top priority for us and we don't foresee that being an issue.
How often do you catch underage IDs?
Not very often, but we definitely know. It's not a secret, but college students, they'll ask someone or even be out in the parking lot and we will catch that immediately. So it's not an issue.
I've seen the statistics from the college in the area and it's a couple garbage pail fulls of fake IDs. I think
Yeah.
inspectors fall out there quite often, so.
Did your experience at U of O help you discover this while you were there?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I worked at the store, the Santa Clara location, like in northern Eugene. So I would do that. I would do my classes and go to work at the liquor store, and it was a great experience. So.
When are the nuptials?
To be determined. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. We have a lot on our plate right now, but it's well underway.
And he did ask me first.
Oh,
Good job.
good job. Well, thank you very much. Excellent presentation for all of you. Appreciate it.
Okay, up next, we have Kenneth Hobbs.
Or Barn?
Thank you.
No, we're still using, right?
Thank you.
No, that's pretty. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everyone breathe easy.
Kenneth, same thing. You'll have 8 minutes. I'll give you a 1-minute countdown and a 30-second to 15-second wrap up.
All right, perfect. We can move on to the first slide. Hi, my name is Ken Hobbs. I've been in the alcohol industry here in Oregon for over 20 years in many different roles, operations, team building, inventory analytics, forecasting. Most recently as Vice President of Sales for Downstate Oregon for Republic National Distribution Company. For the past 7 months, I've actually been able to work alongside the people at Downtown Liquor. I've been going in a few hours each week, learning the aspects of the day-to-day operations, along with what changes I would make, throughout the store itself. Added in your packets are 3 letters from the staff, management, and ownership. If you please take a few moments to take a look at that. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my wife, Erin Hobbs. She's my partner in life and also will bring 20 years of retail experience into this store if I was to get it. Next slide. Operating plan, the biggest thing is I want to make Downtown Liquor the liquor store of choice in Eugene and hopefully become one of the premier liquor stores in Oregon moving forward. This will be adding new fixtures, gondolas, updated decor, added product locations, new security features, operational hours, and a focused effort to our valued licensee accounts. The store right now has extensive spirit selection, but there is definitely room for more. They have beer and wine. They're not selling tobacco and or lottery. I will look at that as a possible focus. But the main focus will be to sell alcohol responsibly to the public, provide excellent customer service, accurate inventory management, and just be a proponent overall for OLCC and its policies. Next slide. For the plan for the sales floor, interior paint, integrate the flooring just to resurface it down to the polished concrete, new shelving and gondolas, expanding out more on the shelving. Behind the register, they're using a slat wall with just some book shelving that needs to be taken out and replaced. Lockbox for high value items if feasible. And if there is tobacco, I would purchase a humidor moving forward. There needs to be some repositioning of some wine gondolas to expand out on the spirits gondolas to the floor. Most all of this will be planned and scheduled to be accomplished after the start of 2026. Just didn't want to do it during the busiest season of the year. Next slide. Once again, new shelving gondolas. I've looked at Uline and local contractors, but most importantly, just make sure that they're industry standard holding power. The largest expansion will be the 25-foot to the east wall, and also the 4-foot to the gondolas on the sales floor. First and foremost, I just want to tie in the industry, Eugene, University of Oregon to the downtown area. I like the word modern, but I just think a Eugene feel, and that's what I'm looking for, wood accents for the shelving bringing in. Next slide. An example of the shelving I'll be looking at and presented to some contractors. Next slide. Regular review of SKU rationalization. If I was to get the store tomorrow, the first thing I would do is look at underachieving existing SKUs in the store itself and have a plan to move through those items, whether it's just working with the staff or the supplier itself. New item rationale. It's really easy to order things from the OLCC and bring them down, but there's not a plan in place to sell those. Those just lock up state funds and space on the floor. With all the new expansion I'm looking at doing, we should roughly get 460 new facings to work with moving forward. Next slide. Security wise, first 60, 90 days, a big part of what I'm thinking about is adding cameras and door security, installing iron gates on the front doors, adding 5 to 6 cameras to the back room. There's only one active one there right now, not only for inventory management, for delivery and accuracy, and receiving accuracy. Having that reference to come back through to see things is paramount. Additional cameras in the back of the store with better resolution, reinforce the back doors, and then also purchase a drop safe. Right now, the safe is locked during the day, and most of the staff does not have access to that safe. So having a second safe or a drop feature is going to be key. Next slide. These are the additional cameras I'll be adding. There is more cameras in the store itself, but these are the to the back room. Next slide. Licensing focus. A huge part of the business for Downtown Liquor is their licensee accounts. And I want to make sure that they understand the importance of their business to Downtown Liquor. So I'll go out and see what's working, what's not. For new customers, I want to make sure they understand what we can offer them at Downtown Liquor. Whatever that might be, I want to make sure I'm a partner to them and their business. The more they sell, the better we would do. If it's establishing an ordering platform, just make sure that all that is seamless. I'll be earmarking one of the staff members for that job. Next slide. Backroom, more so just shelving stability for better merchandising of the dog shelves. I will be establishing a new employee area. Right now, it's actually in the office itself, and I don't think that's conducive to safety for personnel records and monies. Next slide. Backroom integration expansion. Right now, the backroom has a wall separating. They've taken on a lot more extra space, but there's a wall separating the store and the back room. If I remove that wall, it'll open up the entire back room to Downtown Liquor. I'll be able to move all OLCC products to one side of the store and all related products to the other. That way, inventory is secure for OLCC's product and related is separate, and it's easier merchandising and inventory control overall. Next slide. This is the changes. The highlighted in colors are the changes I'll be making with the wall missing. Next slide. Marketing. I want to have an online presence. I'm not too I've not built too many websites, but I want to make sure we have an online platform for visitors and current customers to know what's going on, calendar of events, and any links that can help them get the answers to that need. And then other kind of links from vendors, suppliers, and obviously OLCC camp. Next slide. Staff training, outside of responsible serving of alcohol, we'll do regular staff training. You guys reference, fake IDs are a huge big thing right now. The team is really on top of all that. And it's a big part of what we do there. Next slide. Org chart of what I'm looking at. Next slide. Exterior update, new signage, just incorporating the entire building, more so than anything else. Downtown, you want it well lit and everything looking good. Next slide. Added 5 hours of store operation. There'll be more for local events throughout the year and also looking, as long as the traffic's there, adding hours on weekends. Next slide. Just take a look, next slide. This front store now, next slide. Ideas for added signage, next slide.
15 seconds.
Big mural, the store is recessed away from West 11th. Having a big mural will grab attention to the store itself. Next slide. Outdoor, next slide. Budget plan, next slide. And that's it. In closing, appreciate the opportunity to present today. I know I'm well suited in my experience to accomplish the goals of not only myself, but the OLCC. I hope what I presented today showed the desire and the dedication willing to give this location because of its size and the traffic it has, it needs somebody there 24/7. So thank you.
Thank you. Excellent, excellent. Commissioners? I have a question. Was this your territory?
No, I ran Salem all the way down to the California border, Central Oregon, and the coast.
Okay.
I had 5 district managers, 25 sales staff, and merchandisers. So no, I never crossed up this far, but I definitely covered a lot of the state of Oregon during my duties.
Okay.
Fort Lauderdale, DC.
And are you keeping the staff that's there? Is that your intent or?
Yeah, if you read through the letters that they wrote, and I didn't threaten them to write them or anything like that. They came out and put some beautiful letters together. So staff will stay the same. There's always going to be changes, but I'm all about best practices. Most of those people have been there to 5, 7, 14 years along with Ken. And I'm going to bring my own twist to the store. But understand that the people that are there, they've done some great things so far. I'm just going to take the store to the next level.
Right. Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Nice presentation. Thanks for being.
Okay, up next in tab B, it's second store, 1236 Barnes. And our first presenter is Garrett Larson.
Welcome,
morning, maybe good afternoon. Sure where we're at with the time.
Good morning, everybody. Well,
just a second. I prepared some photo books for you guys.
Thank you.
Thought I printed extras because I didn't know there'd be a couple new commissioners here with us.
We'll share.
Just 1 second to grab the other two.
You want Jared?
You need one?
No, if you need one, I can, the Commissioner Hayes. You have one for yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
Garrett, like all of the others, you will have 8 minutes for your presentation. I'll give you a 1-minute warning and a 30 to 15-second.
Okay, very much. Good morning, Chairman, Commissioners, new Commissioners. My name is Garrett Larson. Thank you for this opportunity to present for Barnes 1236. I have been the acting manager at both Barnes as well as Cedar Hills Liquor for the past 9 years. Next slide, please. I started out as college as a cashier, and over the years, I gained more and more managerial responsibilities, all the way from ordering to shipping and receiving to more advanced things like audit prep, cycle counts, payroll, hiring, scheduling, and things of that nature. In addition to my own experiences, I've been tutored by my parents who have a combined 45+ years in the alcohol beverage industry. And in the instance that I am appointed the agent of Barnes 1236, I've been preparing my assistant manager to take over my managerial responsibilities at the other store. First and foremost, next slide, please. Sorry. First and foremost, I will continue the safe and responsible sale of alcohol, beer, wine, and tobacco. And secondary to that, I will increase sales while also decreasing inventory. To increase sales, I will pursue licensee accounts, extend hours, and continue our social media campaign. To decrease inventory, I will be reducing special orders, minimizing lockbox and back storage, as well as seasonal items. And I will take begin taking full advantage of the state's repack system. Next slide, please. By extending the hours during the weekday and opening again on Sunday, we can open again or extend our hours by 23%, and that's huge revenue potential in that area. Next slide, please. I will retain a fully staffed team up there. They combined have 15+ years of experience in liquor stores, and they're already known and loved by the community. In addition, I will be an operating agent on site daily. I happen to live across the street from that location, so I'm within a 1/4 mile. Next slide, please. For marketing, Google continues to be our main point of customer outreach to new customers and existing customers, and we utilize the Google Pointy system to maximize that outreach. And we'll continue social media, Facebook and Instagram promotions for new items, holidays, seasonals, as well as tastings and any other events that might come up. Next slide, please. Delivery services. I will regain all of the lost licensee businesses that was transferred to the Cedar Hills location. I'm the primary point of contact for most of these on a weekly basis, so it should be an easy transition for them to come back to Barnes. I'll also implement direct to consumer through Grubhub and Uber, so home delivery of beer, wine, sodas, and mixed goods. Next slide, please. We remodeled Barnes back in 2016, and we installed a robust and comprehensive security system. We have 12 cameras inside the store, 2 outside. To complement that, we have a TV security camera that shows the full store, as well as a dome mirror that eliminates all blind spots in the store. For after-hour security, we have security gates on the front and back doors, as well as an alarm system that produces a siren that's designed to disorient and confuse would-be after-hour criminals. And we also have a drop safe for short-term cash protection. Next slide, please. As I just mentioned, I was directly involved with the remodel of Barnes back in 2016. It was a complete overhaul of the store. Everything came out. We installed new polished concrete, new paint. We added new coolers, a new humidor, and brand new black Lozier shelving that maximized the floor plan and created as much shelf space for spirits as possible. For the Cedar Hills, when that was opened in 2019, it was the 3rd largest liquor store in the state of Oregon. And so to design the floor plan required expert level of spacing and shelf planning to make sure that the products are shoppable and appealing to customers. Next slide, please. I'd like you to direct your attention to the lookbook. So if you just want to take a couple look at a couple pages to see what it really looks like on the inside. It's a high quality store that caters to the clientele of the Forest Heights and Council Crest communities. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. I feel that the store aesthetic matches the surrounding community and it is appealing to them. Next slide, please. Next slide. In the application, I presented the source of funds and am prepared to pay the resignation buyout, any startup costs, as well as the first 2 months of operation costs. In addition, I have acquired a loan to purchase all of the related goods you can see on this slide. So all of the gondolas, coolers, beer, wine, etc., anything not spirits. Next slide, please. Thank you for your time and giving me this opportunity to present for Barnes. Like I said, I've been streamlining that into an incredibly labor efficient operation. And I would love to continue my management experience there, but I would be honored to progress my career to an agent of that location. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job.
Any questions?
Love the photo book. Looks beautiful. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you the same question that I asked others. How are you gonna prevent underage sales specifically with these deliveries like Grubhub and Uber Eats? You've got this federated system. Who's checking the ID?
We check all IDs. That's just the store policy is anyone who comes in to buy anything, we check their ID, and that applies to Grubhub and Uber pickups. We make sure that we check their ID when they're picking up, and we also reinforce and reiterate that they are now responsible for this transaction and that they need to make sure that whoever they're delivering it to, that they are checking their IDs as well.
So if somebody is ordering online for a Grubhub delivery, they order with a license number and then the driver is cross-matching that license number? Is that how that works?
I'm not sure how it works on their side. All I can do is control how it works on our side, and everything that goes out the door, we ID.
I like the merchandise in there. That's fun.
Do you have any thoughts of how to embrace AI and other technologies to create efficiency?
Yeah, AI has made leaps and bounds in these past few years. So the first thing I would use AI to would be to help me create a website for the store. That's something I can commission out. I'm not a web developer by any means. So that's something I would pursue for that.
Yeah.
Thank you guys
very much. Excellent presentation. Thank you for this nice gift. About new coffee table book.
And last but not least, Rebecca Speights.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Burns and Miller.
Oh, good afternoon. Sorry, I'll give you 8 minutes. Sorry, you're ahead of me. That's okay. I'll count you down in a minute and then give you another 30 to 45, 30 to 15 second wrap up. Okay. So when you're ready. Okay. I'm ready. Okay. Barnes Liquor Store, number 1236. Next slide. Let me introduce myself. My name is Rebecca Speights. Most people know me as Becky. I have been fortunate enough to spend 10 years working at the Sandy Liquor Store. The most recent 4 years of this time, I have been acting as manager of the store. In this role, I have acquired the day-to-day skills and knowledge to run a successful and thriving liquor store. From the smallest of details to the largest of tasks and everything in between, I take great pride in operating the Sandy Liquor Store. Next slide. So let's get into it. Store hours. Right off the bat, store hours need to be extended. I will have my store open 10 a.m. to 8 p.m., 7 days a week, closed only for Thanksgiving and Christmas Day. Simply put, you have to be open to sell things. Next slide. Obtain licensee sales. The map you see here shows the Barnes Liquor Store as the green arrow, and the 4 restaurants in the same complex that serve hard liquor are the red arrows. Only one of these businesses purchases their liquor from Barnes. How is that possible? I will change that. I will also offer delivery service for licensee accounts. 2024 bar sales were just under $14,000. My goal for 2026 is $100,000. An easily attainable number with the addition of just 2 solid accounts at $1,000 a week each. Next slide. Welcome to the Booze Barn. I was raised in the cowboy culture. I may not look it now, but it is the core of who I am. My most precious memories were made in the barn. So I want to bring this feeling to my store with a modern upscale version of rustic. Picture reclaimed barnwood walls, the counter resurfaced with the same barnwood, accented with rusty corrugated tin along the front. Probably a wagon wheel here or there. Cost for this is $2,500. Next slide. Shelving underglow. Now the modern and upscale part of this is the lighting features. I will have
underglow LED strips installed on the shelves. This will really highlight our products and create a unique look. Cost for this is just $500. Now, on the topic of shelving, there are shelves all along the back 3 walls in the main liquor area currently holding barrel tops as decorations as at the Barnes Liquor Store. And it's super cute, but I think that the space would be much better utilized with a selection of distilled spirits. Next slide. Specialty bundles. We want to promote the new products we bring in with mixed drink bundles. Fun, ready-to-go bags featuring our latest goodies. Also, gift baskets. Need a quick gift for the margarita or old-fashioned lover in your life? How about a beautifully packaged, pre-made, or custom-ordered gift basket? Everything you need to give the gift of a perfect drink. Next slide. New trending section. Social media is such a powerful tool. Our trending section is dedicated to the hot new products people are seeing on their favorite platforms. This is specifically built to attract our younger customers and provide the kinds of things that they're looking for. Next slide. Improved displays. I plan on installing shelving where the current display area is located at the back of the store on an end cap. It's sad and nobody's seeing it. That will allow for more product space and selection, again, utilizing the limited space better. Then creating a display space at the front of that same shelving unit for a larger and more enticing display that's actually visible to customers. My liquor reps are always super great at coming up with attractive displays that include giveaways or something interesting and interactive. Next slide. Barnes Liquor currently has a very large 2-door ice freezer. I don't think this amount of ice is necessary. Again, space is limited in this store and utilizing the space available is really important. I would purchase a single-door ice freezer and an additional single-door cooler to put next to it, specifically for the RTD canned cocktails, which are now located at the very back wall of the store. They're hidden and they're unrefrigerated. Cost for this is $3,000. Next slide. Having a cigar humidor is a wonderful draw in addition to distilled spirits. They go hand in hand, but we need to beef up the selection and upgrade the lighting in this case. The cost for the lighting would be $100. Next slide. Introduce ATM and lottery. I'd like to bring in an ATM for customer convenience. Also, providing Oregon Lottery services makes for a one-stop shop. Next slide. Repair front sign. Currently, the sign on the front of the building has some minor damage. The R is broken. This needs to be repaired. Cost for this is $500. Eventually, I would want to extend the Booze Barn theme with the new sign, but for now, a repair would be sufficient. Next slide. Creating a smooth transition for employees and for customers is an important aspect of my business plan. I want to make sure that current employees feel secure and appreciated while continuing to provide excellent customer service, all during the change in ownership. My plan is not to reinvent the wheel, but to incorporate my own extensive knowledge and experience in liquor store management with some of the successful practices already in place at the Barnes store. A best of both worlds approach guarantees success. Next slide. In closing, I simply want to thank you for your time and consideration in helping me to achieve my goal of becoming a liquor store owner and agent. This is not just a job for me, it is my dream. Next slide. I've included 3 reference letters to show the good relations I've proudly built over the years with others in the industry. A letter from Mr. Michael Benson, my boss, who is the owner of Sandy and Westland liquor stores. Next slide. A letter from the management and owner of the Tollgate Inn, a well-established licensee account I service. Next slide. And a letter from Mr. Scott Tappan, a longtime liquor rep who I've worked closely with over the years. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, do you have any questions
Excellent.
or anything?
Chair,
Commissioner.
Rebecca, where do you currently live? How far are you from the?
I currently live in Sandy. I own a home there. I have considered It's a 50-minute drive, probably on a good day for me. I've done commutes like that over the years, working for my family's business, no problem. I have no problem driving, but my plan would be to see how I do with the commute, and if not, I'd be happy to rent out my home and relocate.
And then do you have, I don't know if I'm allowed to ask this, do you have family members that you have to reconsider or consider?
Nope. I am, all my 3 children are grown and moved out and doing wonderful. And I'm single. It's just me. So I can easily relocate.
And who is the one account that you have currently at the Barnes for the restaurant? Is that Sandoval's or?
No, it's the Cascadia Heights, I believe, is the one account that's there.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So you're a cowgirl?
I am, yeah. Yeah, well, I still am. Once you are, you always are. Yeah.
No, my wife's a cowgirl.
Yes, I grew up rodeoing, so.
Do you have a horse or horses?
I don't anymore. I don't have my father to fund it anymore, so. Honestly, that was kind of the end of it.
Well, that's a good sign, because if you got a horse, you can't do anything else.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what my wife tells me.
Right, oh, yes, you're tied to horse for sure. Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anything else? Thank you.
okay, thank you.
So now we recess. The commissioners will now go into, excuse me, executive session to deliberate on the agent selection pursuant to the authority of ORS 192.6602A. Representative of the news media and designated staff shall be allowed to attend the executive session. Representatives of the media are specifically directed not to report on any of the deliberations during the executive session, except to state the general subject of the session as previously announced. No decisions may be made in executive session. We will return to open session shortly. Okay, the commission is back in session. And we I would entertain a motion for retail service for the Eugene downtown store.
Sure.
Commissioner Warren,
For the Eugene Downtown Store 1218, I move to appoint Westmoreland Liquid Inc. as the permanent agent at that store, 1218 Eugene Downtown, effective July 1st, 2025.
Second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll please.
Commissioner Vashpai,
No.
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
No.
Commissioner Molitas.
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Commissioner Chair Doherty.
Yes,
Motion passes.
motion passes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Next, I would entertain a motion for the Portland Barn Store.
Mr. Chair, I move to appoint Rebecca Spitz as the permanent agent at store 1236 Portland Barns, effective July 1, 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vashpai,
No.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
No.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Molitas,
No.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes,
Motion passes.
motion passes. Congratulations.
That was the difficult one.
Yes, that was very difficult. So somebody didn't get an award this time, please come back. These are your great candidates. It's important to us to have your quality people in here all the time. So appreciate it very much.
The other than settlements?
Yes. So we have stipulated settlements. The motions here, excuse me.
We have, Eli's here, yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Congratulations. We have motions. Oh, there's you are. Okay. We gotta hear about this first. Almost cut you guys out. How are you doing today?
Doing well. Good afternoon, Chair Doherty, Commissioners. My name is Elijah Nadell, from the Administrative Hearings Division. I am presenting for your consideration 4 alcohol stipulated settlements and 2 marijuana stipulated settlements. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Chair,
Sure.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the reading. You've done an excellent job. Very thorough. And to that end, I would move that we ratify the 4 alcohol stipulated settlement agreement as proposed by staff.
Chair, second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion, please. No discussion. Would call the roll, please.
Commissioner Badgerfly,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry.
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Molinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren, Chair Doherty.
Yes.
Chair,
Commissioner,
for the marijuana violation stipulated settlement agreements, I move to ratify the 2 marijuana stipulated settlement agreements as proposed by staff.
Second.
moved and seconded. Discussion. The roll, please.
Commissioner Badgerfly,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry,
Yes.
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Molinas,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty.
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're on to rules. Nicole? There we are. Oh, there's right there. Hi. Were you down in Mexico or did you? Take a
Was I in Mexico?
Or did you take a vacation?
Oh, well, I wish I was. I took a vacation over the Christmas break to Hawaii.
Oh, Hawaii, that's what it was. Oh, boy.
But if you want to send me to Mexico, I am available.
Happy to do that. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Nice to see you too. Good afternoon, Chair Doherty and Commissioners. For the record, my name is Nicole Blase, and I'm the Rules Coordinator for the OLCC. And welcome to our new commissioners. I look forward to working with you. I'm here to present one rulemaking action for your consideration today. This is a final action for the artificially derived CBN extension rules package. I will read the background for this rules package, but for our new commissioners, we have our cannabis policy analyst, Stephen Crowley, joining us remotely if you need any further technical clarification. In 2021, the Oregon legislature passed House Bill 3000, which gave OLCC authority to regulate artificially derived cannabinoids within the OLCC licensed adult use market. Because of the potential public health risks of artificially derived cannabinoids, the OLCC adopted OAR 845-025-1310 to set minimum requirements for artificially derived cannabinoids in adult use cannabis products. These are essentially the same as for the introduction of any new ingredient into a food or dietary supplement. The manufacturer must either make a determination that the artificially derived cannabinoid is generally recognized as safe, or submit a new dietary ingredient notification to the FDA for the artificially derived cannabinoid and receive a no objections response. At the same time, the OLCC created a time-limited exemption where CBN did not need to meet these requirements. This was based in part on the relatively lower risk profile of artificially derived CBN. This exemption was originally set to expire, This exemption was originally set to expire July 1st of 2023, when no artificially derived CBN manufacturers had met the requirements. By early 2023, the OLCC extended the deadline by 18 months to January 2, 2025. Based on input from manufacturers at a rules advisory committee meeting, that this would be an adequate time to meet these requirements. In November of 2024, in response to industry feedback that no artificially derived CBN manufacturers has met these requirements, the OLCC adopted a temporary rules to extend the deadline an additional 6 months until July 1st of 2025. The temporary rules will expire May 19th of 2025. Commission staff proposes to adopt permanent rules extending the deadline for artificially derived CBN to meet the general requirements for artificially derived cannabinoids until July 1st of 2025. And we are happy to answer any questions.
Why can't we seem to get the timeline?
Stephen Crowley, are you joining us? He can give a little more background on the deadline extensions.
I'm trying so hard to see him and I just don't see him, but he sent me a message, so.
You should be there.
I know.
Is there a search option?
No, that's to him. Well. Yes.
This has been actually going on for 2 years. I don't want to speak for Stephen, but basically the manufacturers have come to us and said, we cannot meet this deadline. So we've been extending it by 6 months and 6 months. And at this point, we can't extend it any longer. We've given 2 years.
What's their reason for not being able to meet the deadline?
That I don't.
Stephen may be able, Stephen, you should be able to.
Oh, there he is.
Is he on?
No.
I don't want
Wow.
to.
Amanda.
There he is.
Can you speak? This is like so much more technical than I'm comfortable answering.
Chair Doherty, Commissioner Warren, the reason that it takes so long to meet the deadline is the safety standards involved in introducing a new ingredient to a food or dietary supplement. It involves, toxicity studies and a lot of analytical work to determine what else might be in there for the synthetic method. Because that's one of the concerns with artificially derived cannabinoids partly are related to the cannabinoids themselves. If they're not well studied, what effects do they have? In the case of CBN, it occurs naturally in cannabis, so there's a pretty long history of human exposure to it. But the other piece is when it's being made synthetically, no synthetic reaction process is 100% efficient. So you're potentially getting a variety of other substances that come out of that reaction process. And so characterizing those and establishing what the safety profile is, not just for the target cannabinoid, but any other cannabinoids that are in that mixture is part of that process.
If there's a permanent action, where did he go? What happens if they're unable to meet the criteria? Like what are the consequences?
Chair Doherty, Commissioner Warren, basically the consequences are just that the product manufacturers would no longer be able to use the relatively inexpensive synthetically made CBN anymore. There are sources of naturally derived CBN available. One of the main suppliers of CBN to our licensees who manufacture these products has begun making naturally derived CBN available. It might encourage more licensees in our market to also start going down that pathway, because CBN is basically an oxidation product of THC. The THC in the plant over time, in the presence of oxygen, converts some of it converts into CBN. So that's something that our licensees potentially would be able to manufacture from marijuana, as opposed to the hemp-derived source that most licensees are using now. But my understanding is that there is enough supply for the product manufacturers who make these products in our market to be able to continue making these products. We didn't receive any feedback that there would be disruption in that way.
It sounds like it would be more of health and safety moving in that direction as well.
So back in November, we said you got till July of 2025. And but that somehow that temporary rule that we put in place for that expires May 19th. So we just need to extend what we said we were going to do to July 2020. Okay. All right. But that's the end of it then, right? We don't extend this again. Is that our intention?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I will give staff credit. This was some groundbreak, because we're the first state to kind of address this, correct? Oregon was, and there is no federal There was no federal precedent for it in cannabis, so they did a lot of good work, and they worked very hard with industry, and there was a lot of back and forth on it, and they're, gave additional time on it. One other question I have on the recall specifically, like, how is that going to be facilitated? I mean, when the July 1 or the July drop dead date, how are we gonna, because a lot of that stuff is, am I correct that like a lot of it is outside of our cannabis retailers? It's in grocery, it's in a various spots. How are we gonna facilitate the recall off the shelves as of the drop dead date?
Yeah, Chair Doherty, Commissioner Miletus, it's certainly a lot more straightforward within our license market. We have a compliance bulletin prepared to go out to licensees to remind them of the existing timeline and encourage businesses to make plans for what to do with any remaining inventory that wouldn't be eligible for sale after that date. And within our market, it's straightforward for licensees to identify which inventory is affected. If a product has naturally derived CBN, then it'll just say CBN on it. If it's artificially derived, our rules require that to be disclosed in the product identity on the principal display panel on the label of the product. Outside of our licensed marijuana market, this is a relatively new set of products. For a number of years, starting at the end of 2021, we simply prohibited artificially derived cannabinoids outside of our licensed market because of the significantly lower amount of oversight that market has. We have a lot better visibility with Metrc into our market, and also outside of our licensed market, there are not any sort of clear labeling requirements that businesses have to follow. So it is more of a challenge for retailers to identify whether a product contains artificially or naturally derived CBN. That's something that they will have to work with the product distributors to determine. The compliance bulletin that we're going to put out addresses that issue and it encourages businesses to work with those distributors to identify which products are affected. But the bottom line is that there isn't that kind of level of oversight that we have with Metrc, where we can see where products are out there in the general market. But that's a conversation that we'll also continue to have with the Department of Agriculture that oversees the hemp program and the hemp vendor licenses.
Yeah. This was a tough one. It was a long time coming, and it was, listened to everybody and amended it and did a lot. So I think it was a good lesson for upcoming hemp rules and stuff like that. So I'm good with it. Great work.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you, Nicole. Question, you want to make a motion on this?
I move to amend OAR 845-025-1310, 845-026-0400, and 845-026-0410, effective May 20th, 2025.
Second, Chair.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Badgepie,
Yes.
Commissioner Chowry,
Oh, he's gone.
Oh, move on. We'll get him when he gets back.
He's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Oh, okay. We have a quorum. So
Commissioner Glenn,
Yes.
Commissioner Hayes,
Yes.
Commissioner Miletus,
Yes.
Commissioner Minty,
Yes.
Commissioner Warren,
Yes.
Chair Doherty.
yes. And thank you, Nicole, as always. Appreciate that. And with that, the commission is adjourned.
Thank you.